Level 1, The Dreamer's Son. You were born on September 13th, 1857, on a farm near Dairy Church, Pennsylvania. The farmhouse is small. The fields are flat. The world is quiet, and it will not stay that way. Your father, Henry Hershey, is in the kitchen when you are old enough to notice him, which is not often. He has plans. He always has plans. Last year it was oil drilling in western Pennsylvania. Before that, it was a trout pond, a fruit farm, a nursery. Next year it will be something else. He is the kind of man who arrives late to his own wedding, wearing striped trousers and a silk vest, dressed like the occasion he imagines, rather than the one that's happening. Your mother, Fanny, is the opposite of him in every direction. She is Mennonite, plain clothes and a bonnet, German-speaking, unforgiving of waste. She is the one who gets up before dawn. She is the one who churns the butter, collects the eggs, keeps the family from dissolving. In 1867, when you are 9 years old, your sister Serena dies at 5. The grief finishes what was already breaking. Your father drifts away from the family for good, to Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, Colorado, chasing the next version of himself. He will never find it. You watch him go and you understand, at 9 years old, two things at once: that a man who cannot finish anything leaves nothing behind, and that the only difference between your father and a successful man is that the successful man stays. Level 2, The Dropped Tray. You are 14. You have attended 7 different schools and never made it past the 4th grade. Every time your father found a new venture, the family moved, and you started again somewhere new. Your mother pulls you out for good and arranges an apprenticeship with a printer in Gap, Pennsylvania, who publishes a small German-language newspaper. You hate it from the first day. The type is set in hundreds of tiny metal pieces that must be arranged with exact care. One afternoon, you drop the tray. The pieces scatter across the floor. The printer fires you. Your mother does not say much. She finds you a second apprenticeship, this time with Joseph Royer, a confectioner on King Street in Lancaster. The shop smells of sugar and cream and something caramelizing on the stove. For the first time in your life, a job feels like it belongs to you. You spend 4 years here, learning temperatures by touch, learning how sugar behaves at each degree of heat, learning that candy making is chemistry that you can eat. You are 18 when you leave Royer's shop, and the thing you carry out with you is not a recipe. It is the certainty that you have found the only work you will ever want to do. Level 3, Philadelphia. You are 19. It is 1876, America's centennial year. Philadelphia is hosting the first World's Fair on U.S. soil, the Centennial Exposition, and you are certain the crowds arriving from every state will need someone to sell them sweets. You borrow money from your mother and your aunt and open a candy shop in the city. You work 18-hour days. You perfect your hard candies, your drops, your caramels. The shop is good. The shop is not good enough. Philadelphia has established confectioners, and you have no capital and no reputation, and the debts are growing faster than the revenue. For 6 years, you push against this. In 1882, the shop failed. You are 24 years old, broke, and in debt to your family. Your father is in Denver, Colorado, looking for silver he will not find. You write to him. He writes back and tells you to come anyway. He has found no silver, but Denver is booming, and perhaps there is something for you there. You pack what you have. You get on a train. You are already learning the lesson you will need 3 more times before you believe it. Level 4, Fresh Milk. You are in Denver. Your father's silver play has gone nowhere. You find a job with a local candy maker who makes caramel. What he teaches you is specific. Fresh milk, not water, not paraffin wax, which most candy makers use as a firming agent. Fresh milk from a dairy cow, added to the caramel mixture while it is still warm. The result is a texture you have not tasted before. Soft, creamy, genuinely melt in the mouth, with a shelf life that makes water-based caramels look disposable. You write the technique down. You carry it in your head like a key you have not found the lock for yet. You leave Denver. You try Chicago. Chicago is too crowded and too expensive for a man without capital. You move to New York. You open a shop on 42nd Street and call it Hershey's Fine Candies. You use the fresh milk formula. For a time, people come. For a time, it works. Then the rent rises and the sugar prices rise, and the debts from Philadelphia are still following you. You try to expand before you can afford to. In 1886, the creditors call in what they are owed. A police officer arrives and seizes your candy-making equipment for non-payment. You walk out of New York with nothing. You get on a train to Lancaster. When you walk down the main street of the town where you used to work for Joseph Royer, your cousins see you coming and physically turn their backs. You are 28 years old. You have failed 3 times. You have a recipe in your head and no equipment to use it on, and a family who have decided you are your father. Level 5. The caramel. You are 29, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. A bank cashier named William Lebkitcher has tasted one of the caramels you made by hand in a rented room and brought to him on a sample plate. He decides the man who made these deserves a chance. He backs you. With Lebkitcher's faith and the last remnants of borrowed money, you start the Lancaster Caramel Company. You use the fresh milk formula. Within weeks, people notice. The caramels are better than anything else in the market. Softer, richer, longer lasting. Orders come from Pennsylvania, then from New York, then from England. You hire workers, then more workers. By 1890, 4 years after your cousins turned their backs on you on that Lancaster Street, you are employing over 100 people and shipping caramels across the United States and the Atlantic. You have paid back every person you owe. The fresh milk in your caramels, the thing you learned in Denver from a man your father led you to while chasing silver he never found, is the reason you are standing here. Your father's useless journey was not useless. You are not ready to tell him that yet. Level 6, Chicago, 1893. You are 35. The Lancaster Caramel Company is thriving. You attend the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, the same city where you failed 10 years ago, and walk the exhibition floor until you find a booth run by a German company called J.M. Lehman. In the booth, a machine is making chocolate. Not the dry, bitter baking chocolate you have worked with, milk chocolate. The machine takes cacao, sugar, and fresh dairy milk and turns them into something smooth and dark and inexpensive at a scale that makes every European luxury bar look obsolete. You stand at this machine for a long time. The German exhibitor offers you a sample. You eat it. The future arrives in a single bite. Chocolate, you understand in this moment, is not a luxury product that rich people import from Switzerland. It is what ordinary people will eat every day once someone makes it cheap enough to reach them. You buy the J.M. Lehman equipment on the spot and have it shipped to Lancaster. When your business associates hear what you have done, they think you have lost your balance. You are the caramel king. You are pouring money into a side project. They do not yet understand that you are not distracted. You are repositioning for the only move that matters. Level 7, the bet. You are 42. The year is 1900. The Lancaster Caramel Company is worth $1 million. And a rival has offered you exactly that to buy it. Your friends say take it, retire, you have earned it. You say yes, and then you do something that shocks everyone who knows you. You sell the entire caramel company for $1 million. You keep nothing from the sale except a single subsidiary, the Hershey Chocolate Company, which you started as an experiment in 1894. You reinvest every cent of the million into building a chocolate factory. You are famous for saying caramel is merely a fad, but chocolate? Chocolate is permanent. In November of 1900, you produced the first Hershey milk chocolate bar. It is smooth, affordable, and available to anyone in America who has a few cents. Milk chocolate has been a Swiss luxury for a century. You just made it a corner shop staple. On March 2nd, 1903, you break ground on a new factory in Derry Township, Pennsylvania, the same farmland near Derry Church where you were born 45 years ago. The building, when it is completed in 1905, is the largest chocolate manufacturing plant in the world. You are building it on top of your own childhood. Level 8, Kitty. You are 40. 2 years before you sold the Caramel Company, you married a woman named Catherine Sweeney at a small ceremony in New York on May 25th, 1898. Everyone calls her Kitty. You met her years earlier while delivering a caramel order to a candy shop in the city. She is Irish Catholic, the daughter of immigrants from Jamestown, New York, and your Mennonite family has opinions about this. You ignore the opinions. Kitty is cultured, warm, and expansive in ways that your work-first upbringing never was. She opens up your view of the world. Art, travel, philanthropy. Together you see the world. Together you discover, quietly, that you will not have children. This is the wound beneath the success. You are building an empire, and there is no one to give it to. Kitty reshapes the question. Instead of asking what you are building for, she asks what it could do. The answer takes shape slowly. A school. Not a grand building with your name on it. A school that takes in boys who have nothing. No parents, no money, no prospects, and gives them what you never had. In 1909, you and Kitty signed the deed of trust for the Hershey Industrial School. You enroll the first students. The school is your family. You do not know yet what it will cost you to keep it. Level 9, the town. You are building more than a factory. The Derry Township site is in the middle of farmland. No infrastructure, no workers' housing, no roads. You could build the factory and leave the men to fend for themselves, the way every other industrialist does. Instead, you build a town. You draw up plans for streets lined with trees. You build houses for your workers, real houses, with indoor plumbing and gardens. You build a school, churches, a park. You build a trolley system so that men who choose to live outside the town can get to work. On May 30th, 1906, you open Hershey Park as a recreation ground for your workers and their families. And within years, it becomes an amusement park that draws visitors from across Pennsylvania. You name the streets after cocoa growing regions: Ariba Avenue, Java Avenue, Ceylon Avenue, Trinidad Avenue. The town that grows up around your factory is called Hershey, Pennsylvania. It is entirely possible that your father, somewhere in his decades of failed ventures and abandoned plans, would look at this town and recognize in it the dream he always had, the place he was always moving toward and never building. You are not your father, but you built what he was looking for. Level 10, the price. You are 57. On March 25th, 1915, Kitty dies. She is 43 years old. The illness has been taking her for several years, a degenerative condition that eroded her nervous system slowly, in stages, until there was nothing left to hold. You have carried her picture in your breast pocket since the day you married her. You will carry it for the next 30 years. You do not remarry. 3 years after Kitty dies, in 1918, you do the thing she helped you see. You transfer your entire personal fortune, $60 million, including your controlling ownership stake in the Hershey Chocolate Company, to the trust fund that runs the Hershey Industrial School. Not some of it, all of it. The gift is so large and so unusual that you do not announce it. You carry it quietly for 5 years. It is not made public until 1923. You have just given away the largest single philanthropic gift in American history to that point, and you tell almost no one. The school is your family. The boys are the children you and Kitty never had. The money belonged to them from the beginning. You just made it official. Level 11, the Depression. You are 72. The year is 1929. The stock market has collapsed. Banks are failing. Unemployment is rising toward 25%. In every American city, the factories are going quiet, and the workers are going home to nothing. In Hershey, Pennsylvania, you do something that no other industrialist in America is doing. You order more construction. The Hotel Hershey opens in 1930. A community center follows. A theater. A sports arena. A stadium. You call it the Great Building Campaign, and you run it through the worst years of the Depression, because running it means your men stay employed. Not a single worker in Hershey is laid off during the Depression years. You will later say so yourself, quietly, not as a boast, but as a fact. Not one. The rest of America watches factories close and breadlines form, and you are building a hotel. A man who failed 3 times and was seized by creditors in New York is the only industrialist in the country who does not flinch. You have been broke before. You know what it costs. You will not let it cost the men who showed up to work for you. Level 12, the price. You are 88. It is October 13th, 1945. The war is over. American soldiers have been carrying Hershey Ration D bars and tropical chocolate bars in their packs since 1940. Your factory produced 3 billion of them between 1940 and 1945. 24 million bars a week at peak production. The men who came home with your chocolate in their memory. You die this morning in Hershey Hospital, in the town that bears your name, in the county where you were born. You are buried at Hershey Cemetery on Laudermilch Road, 3 miles from the farmhouse where your father used to count his plans and your mother used to count the eggs. The estate left over after a lifetime of giving away everything is $900,000. The Milton Hershey School, funded by the trust you filled in 1918, will go on to educate more than 100,000 children across the next century. The children you and Kitty never had number in the hundreds of thousands. You built a town to keep men working when the country stopped. You gave away a fortune so that boys with nothing could become men with something. You failed 3 times, and each time you learned the one thing the next attempt needed. The last lesson was the biggest, that the point of the money was never the money. And now, you are history.